Morning, everybody. Let's talk about Amazon. It's our most recent addition to your portfolios. I've only just started with it. It's going to take a long time for me to buy the shares that I want to buy because I want to make it a big position. How big? It could actually end up being your largest position. I'm that enthusiastic about it. So, Amazon. You've bought books or whatever, sheets or plumbing parts. Who knows? On Amazon, I just bought a washing machine pump on Amazon. $11.70 on Amazon, $60 through Sears. Uh, so I can't do Amazon justice in just a couple of minutes that I'll have your attention in this video. I'm just going to say a couple of things. It's growing rapidly. 6 years ago, it was about one-ninth the size of Walmart. Now it's one quarter the size, and by my estimation, in about maybe 7 or 8 years, it will be as large as Walmart is then. And that's just astonishing. Walmart has been a colossus for years. It will be Amazon that will be the biggest retailer on the planet. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this, but they have the ability to make a ton of money. They don't really make that much money right now, but that's because they choose to reinvest. The other thing I want to say about Amazon is I've got to mention Amazon Web Services, AWS. Ask any of your friends in the computer business. They know AWS. I'm a customer myself in a project in another context. It took me 10 minutes to get it going. It's incredibly inexpensive, and it works fantastically. That's a pretty nice combination. AWS is 4 times larger in capacity than the next 14 largest companies in cloud services, according to Gartner. That's amazing. That's huge. You don't probably think of Amazon as being bigger than IBM in certain ways, but it is, or Microsoft for that matter. Okay, so the interesting thing is AWS, we've known about them for years, but Amazon didn't really disclose whether they were making any money on AWS, and we assumed, since the prices were so ridiculously low for the services, that they weren't making any money at all. But around a bit more than a year ago, they actually released some financial information, and they're making a ton of money off AWS, and it's growing incredibly fast, and that's probably going to continue for quite some time. There's just a tremendous opportunity there. It actually could become the tail that wags the dog. Maybe we will start to think of Amazon as that web services company as opposed to that online retailer. Okay, so I'm just very excited. I think we can really make money. I'll just mention one other thing, and that is that AWS demonstrates something about Amazon. It's an entrepreneurial culture, a successful entrepreneurial culture. That's very difficult, especially for a bigger company. That's worth a lot. There are all kinds of things they can do beyond the retail that you know well to make more money basically and increase their value over time. For example, they can get into banking. All right, it's huge. All right, so that's it on Amazon. I'll talk to you soon. We've had this big Trump rally, and human nature being what it is, when the stock market goes up for a day or two, nobody pays it much mind. But when it goes up for, let's say, 8 weeks, then people start to think that this is a trend and they want to get on board. And people, if there's one thing that people don't like in investing, it's missing out. So I'm going to show you what happened when Reagan was elected, because there's really a sort of a similarity. Reagan came in as a pro-business president-elect, and there was a lot of excitement about him in the business community, and there was a lot of enthusiasm that was reflected in the stock market, as you'll see. So the question is, well, what happened next? Now, I'm not using this as a prediction of what's going to happen here. I'm just trying to show you that things can change. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is a graph of the behavior of the Standard & Poor's 500 around the time of Reagan's election. This is the lead up to the election. It was understood that he was going to win well before he actually was elected. And this rise here, I think, in significant measure is a reflection of that. Now, here's the election itself. This is at the end of October, and then the election, and there's this sort of a skyrocketing thing. And this is a very big rise. This is a 40% rise over just a period of a few months. That's actually gigantic. So I'll call that the Reagan rally as opposed to the Trump rally. And it happened actually before and then into just the period just after the election. So remember, I said that there was all this enthusiasm because we had this pro-business person now in the White House, and everything was going to be so wonderful. So what happened? So what I want to show you is, it's just not that simplistic. Um, Here's the months after Reagan was elected, going into this is right around October here. I think what did I do? October 1st. Yeah, October 1st. So we actually had about a 20% decline in the months right after the election. So, somebody getting elected who's pro-business, as has been said of Trump, um, that's it's interesting. It may have an effect for a period of time, but ultimately, a bunch of other factors may come into play. Today, we're going to rescue poor Warren Buffett. We're going to do it in about 2 minutes. I'm going to show you a graph in a minute of his increasing cash levels. As the market has risen, he's gone more and more to cash. He has record levels of cash in Berkshire Hathaway. Actually, Berkshire Hathaway has more cash than any company in the United States. It might even be more than any country on the planet Earth, but I'm not sure on that point. Anyway, it's a ton of cash, and he's been increasing it. And what's wrong with him? The stock market's been going up. Why would he behave this way? And I'll say that if he went into an investor center for one of these mutual fund giants that you've seen advertised on television, or a Merrill Lynch or somebody like that, and if let's say Warren Buffett showed the representative his portfolio, and let's say they didn't recognize him, and let's say he took some zeros off because his portfolios are gigantic, I assure you he would be told that he's doing it all wrong. All right, the raising cash, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to have 3% of your money in Argentina, and 4% in Singapore, and that sort of thing. And you're supposed to own, 12 mutual funds. He's doing it all wrong. He would be there would be the offer of saving him from himself. All right. So let's take a look at what's going on with Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, so this is a picture of Berkshire Hathaway's cash levels over many years, and we're particularly interested in the last couple of years. So 2015 is here, 2016, actually the year-end number, which we don't have yet, is probably going to be right around here. So by far, that's the largest cash level that Berkshire's ever had, and it's a sharp increase since last year. That strikes some people as backwards. The market's been rising. Why would Warren Buffett, behave this way? He must have lost his touch. As far as I'm concerned, it makes perfect sense. Valuations are out of whack. They're very high. So, why would you would have less money in stock rather than more? The time you want to have a lot of money in stock is when prices go down, and that's in fact what he did back here. Look at 2007 into 2008. This is the financial crisis. He bought a bunch of stock back then. So I show you this because we've been doing more or less the same thing. In your accounts that are invested in mutual funds, as opposed to your individual accounts, your 401ks, that sort of thing. For a while now, a couple of years perhaps, I've been saying we should go slow, valuations are too high, we should cut back a bit, we should be only partially invested, that sort of thing. And Warren Buffett's been doing the same thing. So maybe we're both wrong. Let's see.